Good evening. I would like to call to order the continuation of the council meeting from Tuesday, December 16th. Just as we start and before the moment of silence, I want to acknowledge that the last time we were here, there was a major medical incident, and I want to say that I am grateful to the police officers in the room, the fire officers in the room, the first responders in the room, and we had a nurse in the building, and I'm just very grateful for the immediate response that we got, so thank you all. And with that, I'd like to have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, could I have a roll call, please?
Justin Queenan.
Here.
William McCoy. Madeira Robinson.
Here.
Jasmine Griffen. Natalie Colson.
Here.
Rashad Bates.
Here.
Rebecca Smith.
Here. The minutes were already approved at Tuesday. That motion still stands. Last week. All right. There's not an executive session this evening. Vice President Bates, do you have any announcements?
One announcement. January 28th at 5:30, there will be a budgeting for business owners ran by the Norristown Chamber, and that's going to be at 340 Harding Boulevard at our rec center.
Council, does anybody else have any announcements they would like to? Councilwoman Colson.
I just wanted to say thank you to all the residents who came out to our first Holiday Hall event. I also want to thank our staff and partners who helped make it such a success, including the police department, fire department, public works, parks and recreation, Kevin, Leah, and everyone who else who contributed their time and effort. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I know we have some police officers in the building who have been waiting patiently to be sworn in, so we're going to start with you. The oath of office, swearing in for the oath of office for 5 applicants for the position of police officer.
Is extremely important. This is a very proud moment in their career here with the Norristown Police Department. It's a proud moment for our community, so I thank you and welcome you for being here as we welcome them to our family and send them on their way into we hope will be a very successful, happy and safe career in service to Norristown. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to do this together. Good evening, I'm Judge Hakeem Jones, and I'm honored to be able to swear in our newest Norristown police officers. Gentlemen, are you ready to take the oath? Yes, sir. All right, so we'll do this in unison, so I'll ask you to repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will support, obey, and defend. The Constitution of the United States of America. The Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The Charter of the Municipality of Norristown. And that I will enforce the laws of this Commonwealth. And the ordinances of Norristown. And that I will discharge the duties of my office. As police officer. For the Municipality of Norristown Police Department. With honor and fidelity. I do further swear. That I will uphold, obey, and enforce. the law without consideration to a person's race, color, sex, religious creed, sexual orientation, age, national origin, ancestry, handicap, or disability. Congratulations.
Madam Secretary, is there any public comment this evening?
Melvin Faust. Okay, Toussaint? No Toussaint? Left. From the last time. Oh, last time. Pastor Robert Jones? This list is from last time. Yeah, we have the new ones. Laura Smith. No. Joan Work. Nathan Mercenick. Okay, now we have the newest list. Sorry. Olivia Brady.
Good evening, Council. So I read something in the Inquirer the other day, which I thought was really interesting, and I thought you might be interested in it too. They are considering a no demo without plan proposal. And the people in the Philadelphia Council that are responsible for this and are championing it is Jeffrey J. Young and Jamie Gauthier. Basically what it does is it asks for no demolition to be completed until a plan has been approved, until they've got their building permits and everything in place for the new project. And I thought it was really interesting because a lot of times speculative demolition for speculative projects that never materialize leave vacant scars on our streets. Anyone can drive down Main Street and see a whole bunch of empty lots, and it does erode from public confidence in the amount of development that we can do. And I thought it was a really interesting thing that you might want to look into after the new year, of course, to investigate what the Philadelphia Council is doing and see about something, whether or not it would work in Norristown. I think it would really help with the preservation, of course, of the buildings that are important to Norristown. And I might remind you that Norristown's comprehensive plan does tout our historic preservation as an asset. So I urge you to look into this and consider it and see what happens. Thanks so much for your time.
Nadine Hitch.
Good evening, Council. My question is just about the town halls. There was not supposed to be several town halls that happened over the past week between police officers and the community. Is anyone aware? It was on the website, norristown.org. Yes. Did those take place?
I believe they did. Yeah, they did.
Okay, because I had gone to some of those locations and I didn't see anyone. I didn't see anything happening. I was like, is anyone in here? Is anyone here? No? I do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Taria Mayo. Taria.
Good evening, everyone. And it's funny that she came up and talked about the town halls, because that's what I was coming up to say. I was coming up to actually commend Chief Trail's staff. Last council meeting, before it was interrupted, it was a lot of people standing up here about the violence of the teenagers and the youth. And it was I went to every last town hall, from starting with Orzio first, and to the end in Sergeant Langdon on Thursday at the Center Theater. And I believe that Thursday is where everyone that has stress concerns about the youth and the violence and the connections with the collaborations with the community should have been there. He had, what he's been trying to do for the last 6 years that I know, is to get everybody to the round table. And when I say it was 15 of us in the room, but we were all interested parties in the same area, and that he was able to get the ADA's office in there, he was able to get the juvenile supervisor in there, he was able to get the juvenile investigator in there, he was able to get drug and alcohol in there, he was able to get a lot of big people in there. So I give my hats off to Sergeant Langdon and also Lieutenant Dumas, because we were able to collaborate, get together. They said that the story don't gotta be sold, they're on board, and we're gonna hopefully get to work with this youth violence, the at-risk youths, and the ones that's on the fence, and the ones that we try not to have to go on the fence. And I just wanted to let you guys know that the town hall was very, very successful, and I wish more people would have came out because it was very, very needed, and it was a lot of information in the room. And I just wanted to just address that to you guys and let you guys know that we're here for the youths, and we're going to continue to be here for the youths. And it doesn't take, yes, it takes $1 to do things, but it does not take $1 when you got passion and it's in your heart. And if you're passionate about something, money will come because your story don't have to sell, because your resumes and your backing of the community will show for itself. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, up next, we have a presentation by State Representative Greg Scott.
Good evening, members of council, administration, staff, family, and friends. And most especially, probably for the last time, your last council meeting, good evening, Madam President Rebecca Smith. First, let me begin by acknowledging the wonderful team, our first responders, the Norristown Police Department, Chief O'Donnell, Firefighter Barbado, and Plymouth Ambulance for their heroic efforts last week at our council meeting. And obviously all of our thoughts and prayers continue to be with that individual and their family. But tonight is one of those moments that is both joyful and bittersweet. Joyful because we are here to celebrate extraordinary service. Bittersweet because Norristown is preparing to turn the page on a remarkable chapter of leadership. Rebecca, I first met you many years ago in my previous role. Back then, I knew you as capable, thoughtful, and committed. But over this past year, I've had the privilege of truly getting to know you personally and professionally. As we met 2 or 3 times a week, tackling the hard issues, wrestling with real challenges, and yes, closing deals on behalf of the mutual people that we serve. Those hours revealed not just your skill, but your character. You took on the tough task cleaning things up, keeping the lights on, and managing through complexity, all while working a full-time job, and that is no small feat. And yet you did it with calm, clarity, and grace because you love public service, you love Norristown, and you lead with integrity. Flawlessly may be a strong word, but I think it's the right one in this case. Rebecca's 8 years on council and her service as council president have strengthened local governance, improved public services, and built meaningful partnerships across this community. Her systems-driven approach, shaped by more than a decade in public education, brought innovation, accountability, and compassion to the work. Whether supporting student success, workforce development, family engagement, or infrastructure, her focus has always been on outcomes that matter. Beyond council, she has given generously of her time as president of the Norristown Stormwater Authority, as a board member of Keep Norristown Beautiful, and with the Norristown Area School District Education Foundation. She has done all of this with deep expertise, earned through her education and experience. But even more importantly, Rebecca, with your heart. The challenge of all of you and I is not what can be said because words are fleeting. It's what will be seen after we're gone. That's called legacy. In 1977, during his last speech, Vice President Hubert Humphrey said, "The moral test of a government is how that government treats those that are in the dawn of life, the children, those who are in the twilight of life, the elderly, those who are in the shadows of life, the sick, the needy, and the differently abled." Check mark, check mark, check mark, Council President. The children. Your work with the Intermediate Unit and the Norristown Area Education Foundation has helped secure that our kids, our babies going into kindergarten, will have more babies next year and the year after that are prepared on day one because of that work. The elderly. Despite some pushback and some hurdles, it was under your leadership that we cut the ribbon and opened our latest senior facility where we've got 40+ seniors that will be enjoying their Christmas in a rent-stabilized apartment this Christmas, warm building. What about the needy and the differently abled? Under your leadership, this council has secured transitional housing in a partnership with Montgomery County that is a good fit for both the municipality and our residents, as well as making sure we take care of the most vulnerable among us. If this is how Norristown is to be measured on our morality and our greatness, then we have passed under your leadership, President Smith. And not just those things, we also have some money. When you talk about her leadership, under President Smith's leadership and with the assistance of Municipal Administrator Leitner, I was taken to task to not only make Rebecca's dreams become a reality, but to also fund some of those dreams. Under your leadership, we've been able to make sure that we've got a few checks, and we'll present some of them right now with the help of our handy-dandy Chief of Staff, Buck Jones. So I want to talk about first your work with the stormwater. I'm happy to announce that tonight, because of your leadership with the Stormwater Authority and Municipal Administrator Leitner, we've got $528,000 for our stormwater alternatives that will help to offset some of those costs, $528,000. I'm going to give this to Tony Maris to help me hold that. The next thing we talk about housing, the people that need housing in municipalities. It's a hot topic issue. Well, because of Rebecca's leadership and Leonard Neitner's leadership, we'll be doing an analysis. Rebecca, that's paid for tonight. Sign, seal, deliver, $138,720. We can get some more help. Thank you. Leonard, come on up here. Help me hold these. I got some more. Chief Trail, this is a good one. Where's Chief Tommy O'Donnell? Oh, get over here, Deputy Chief. We talk about public safety. It's more than just words. With Chief Trail and Chief O'Donnell's leadership, along with the fire department, Deputy Chief Lockhart, Rebecca, those surveillance trailers are coming, $167,000, $148 for that. You can clap for that. We'll keep our community safe. And last but certainly not least is $400,000 for a brand new community center and swimming pool brought because of your leadership. Over $1 million. So Rebecca and senior leadership, those are the checks that we got for you. But don't take just my word for it. From every level of government, I have let them know that unfortunately we will no longer be working with Rebecca because she's retiring and going off to greener pastures. And they all wanted to make a comment. I'm not going to read all of them, but Governor Shapiro wanted to be here tonight. He could not be here. Here is a note that he sent, and I'm going to read it for the record. Greetings, Rebecca. Congratulations on your well-deserved retirement after years of dedicated service to the people of Norristown and as council president. Your work has improved the lives of countless Pennsylvanians, strengthening local governance, enhancing public service, and fostering meaningful community partnerships. As municipal council president and a board member for the Norristown Area Education Foundation, the Norristown Stormwater Authority, and Keep Norristown Beautiful, you have consistently advocated for your community's needs. Your dedication to public service is noticeable, and I am proud to have strong municipal leaders, such as yourself, working to protect and uplift this beautiful Commonwealth. As governor and on behalf of all Pennsylvanians, I am honored to congratulate you as you begin this next chapter of your life. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Signed, Governor Josh Shapiro. And it was not auto-pen. Next up, I have Congresswoman Mary Gay Scanlon could not be here tonight, but she did send something, and I don't know if any of you follow the news. It's very rare that they agree on anything in Washington, D.C. bipartisan fashion, but it is indeed solidified in stone, Rebecca Smith, that you are a leader among leaders. Even everyone in Washington, D.C. can agree upon that. Congratulations on that. And last but certainly not least, it is my honor to present a citation on behalf of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives and Speaker Joanna McClinton. It's a small token of gratitude for service that has been anything but small. Again, I'm going to spare you all the details because I'm past my 3 minutes of time. Kevin, thank you for not putting on the time clock. But this is a small token of gratitude for anything that has been small. Rebecca, sincerely, from a personal standpoint and a professional standpoint, thank you for your leadership, your sacrifice, and your love for this community. Norristown is stronger because of you, and while you may be retiring from your seat, your impact will be felt for generations to come. Congratulations again, and thank you, Madam President Rebecca Smith. Come on. This one, Chief Trail, come sign it. Where's Lockhart?
Yeah, you're not getting out of this.
Yeah.
Makes me look better.
Thank you, Rep. Scott, for that. It's always a little embarrassing to have people talk about you, but in retrospect, I really am grateful for your kind words and your partnership over the past year especially. All of the kind things you said about me, none of that could actually happen alone. So much of what you said about this year was in partnership with the state, the federal government, and the county. So beyond grateful for having established those relationships and for that open communication that we've been able to have to advocate for things like over $1 million in funding for Norristown. So thank you there. most of that can't happen without my council colleagues. So I want to thank you as a body, right? Over the past 8 years, the council body has opened up the first recreation center in Norristown, built up the recreation department, replaced the playground equipment in every single park we had, invested in public infrastructure, invested in development. None of that can happen alone. That's a shared success. So I want to thank all my council colleagues for the work. I know it's rarely easy, but it's worth it. And also to municipal staff. Council can set policies, but it is municipal staff who make that happen every single day. We can set a policy to open up a recreation center, get money to fund a recreation center, but none of that can happen without staff to make it happen. So beyond grateful to our staff who take council's vision and carry that forward with commitment every single day in your work. And also to all of the residents of Norristown for caring deeply about Norristown every single day, advocating for Norristown every single day, and holding the expectations of this council body to do good for town. There's a lot said about me, but none of that could happen with just me. So thank you, everybody else. Next up, we have resolution number 25-96, the reappointment to various advisory boards, committees, and commissions. Mr. Leitner.
Thank you, Council President. We have before Council this evening for the Civil Service Commission to reappoint 2 members, Ms. Loyens and Mr. Morris. They submitted their application and their request to stay on the commission a few months back, and after time and consideration through Council, we're presenting this back to you for consideration to reappoint them. Their appointment expires on December 31st, 2025.
Council, any questions?
I think Mr. Morris needs to be, maybe adjusted to be a commissioner, because I don't know if they will have enough people, because I think someone retired or no longer on that commission, so they wouldn't have enough people to hold the committee. Am I correct, Mr. Morris?
Yes, the president resigned, so Ms. Nadine Hitch is the vice president, council president, with mine and myself expiring on the 31st, there would be one person who would be a commissioner. If 2 of us are reappointed, then there would be 3 commissioners, as should be, and no alternate. So there would need to be an alternate.
Councilman Queden, so are you suggesting we amend the resolution to appoint Mr. Morris as a commissioner? The alternate commissioner would be vacant until appointed otherwise.
Yes.
Council, are there other questions? And is there a motion for resolution number 25-96 as amended for Mr. Morris to be a commissioner?
So moved. Second.
Madam Secretary, could I have a roll call?
Justin Queenan.
Aye.
Vera Robinson. Aye. Natalie Colson. Rashad Bates.
Aye.
Becca Smith.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution number 25-96 is approved. Resolution number 25-107, the request for municipal council to accept the resignation of Mr. Odenigbo as Public Works Director.
Good evening.
Hello.
I received the letter of resignation, the form of resignation from Thomas DeBingo, and we're asking council to accept this resignation and approve the resolution. Everything went to legal, and this is where we are.
Council, is there a motion to approve resolution number 25-107?
So moved.
Could I have a roll call, please?
Justin Queenan.
I know it's going to pass by light comments. I appreciate them. I'll say aye.
Vera Robinson. Aye. Natalie Colson. Aye. Rashad Bates.
Aye.
Becca Smith.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution number 25-107 is approved. Thank you. Next up, we have buildings and code compliance, the request to approve the HARB COAs.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We only have one COA that has been reviewed by the Historic Review Board this month, and they are presenting it to you with a recommendation for approval, and that'll be 536 George Street.
Council, any questions? Is there a motion to approve the HARB COA?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
HARB COA is approved. Thank you. Finance, the request of council to adopt the 2026 budget ordinance 25-08, establishing the real estate tax rate for 2026.
Good evening, Council. Ordinances 25-08 and 2509 establish the real estate tax rates for 2026 for the general fund, the fire tax fund, and the EMS tax fund. The fire tax and the EMS tax are new this year, but they're being broken out of the general fund. At the October 21st meeting, each department presented their budget request for 2026. At that point, we had a $3.3 million revenue gap. On the November 5th meeting, we refined the budget and presented a 1.69 revenue gap. On November 18th, we requested approval from council to advertise the 2026 budget with a 1 mil tax increase from 18.25 to 19.25, plus the use of fund balance to cover a one-time total revenue gap. On December 2nd, we requested council to adopt the 2026 budget with a 0.25 mil tax increase from 18.25 to 19.00, plus the use of fund balance again for a one-time only expenditure. These ordinances were tabled and the budget was advertised a second time on December 5th. Again, to recap our 2026 budget, these were some of the changes we had made from the last time. The total general revenue fund budget is now $40,036,187. Oh, that's the right one. Fire fund budget is $6,969,293. EMS budget is $60,000. The total expenditure budget is $47,065,480. We refined the budget by $129,000. The budget gap is now $1.4 million. In addition, the liquid fuels budget is $1.9 million, and the capital improvement plan budget that was approved at the last meeting is $13,079,687. Next. Keeping all the services the same, the expenditures can be expected to increase approximately $1.5 million annually, just due to salaries and inflation. Services have been kept basically the same for the past 5 or 6 years to keep taxes down and build up our fund balance. In 2026, staffing was increased to meet the additional demands on departments to improve services to customers. These improvements were in safety, parking, cleanliness, recreation programs, and services at the Municipal Hall. This is the projected gap, $1,455,424. Part of it is we plan to use fund balance to cover the one-time pension increase and then raise the taxes by 0.75 mil, which will provide an additional $665,424. This is approximately $52.76 increase for a single unit per year, and that's 77% of our properties. Okay. Is that the last one? Okay. Now, as we mentioned at the last council meeting or time before, we're splitting the 19 mil real estate tax increase into 3 pieces. 7.16 will be the general fund. 0.07 mil will be the EMS tax. I'm sorry, 7.16 is the fire tax. .07 mil will be for the EMS tax, and 11.77 will be the real estate tax to cover the balance of the operating budget. Ordinance 25-08 establishes the 11.77 general fund real estate tax. Ordinance 25-09 establishes the fire tax and the EMS tax. Again, you have the line item budget in your package. Questions? Concerns?
Before I open it to questions, last time we were here on December 2nd talking about the budget, I did not have a chance to say that we advertised at a 1 mil tax increase and you came back to us at 0.75. So I just wanted to say thank you for lowering the advertised tax increase. I appreciate it, and I didn't say it last time, so I wanted to acknowledge that. Council, any questions?
She just stole my thunder. I was going to say that as well. And just curious now, not about this budget, it might be something we have to talk about later. I would definitely like to hear a plan, like what possible things we could do in the future where we don't have to use the fund balance. Or I know each year you're going to have to do some type of tax increase because that's the way the world is.
Well, it's just
Everything's
inflation
going,
and salaries.
tariffs and everything else is making everything go up. But I would love to put that on our plan to have talks about what possibly we could do. And I know they're on the line on you, you're just at the podium. There's a lot of things in the plan I would love to discuss, but right now, it's just too late. We gotta pass this baby and keep on moving. But that's something for future council that we continue to work on the budget for the people in Norristown. Make sure we're doing everything we can do and make sure that Norristown is prioritized, the citizens as well. And as far as also as the employees of Norristown as well. You guys are filling those calls, and we appreciate it.
Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2508, establishing the real estate tax rate for 2026? Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second it. Second.
Madam Secretary, could I have a roll call, please?
Dustin Queenan.
Aye.
Madeira Robinson. Aye. Natalie Coulson. Aye. Rashad Bates.
Aye.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye. The ayes have it. Ordinance 25-08 is approved. Also presented was ordinance 2509, establishing the fire and EMS tax rate for 2026. Council, are there any questions specific to that? Seeing none, is there a motion to adopt ordinance 25-09, establishing the fire and EMS tax rate for 2026?
So moved. Second.
Madam Secretary, could I have a roll call, please?
Dustin Queenan. Madeira Robinson. Aye. Natalie Coulson. Rashad Bates.
Aye.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye. The ayes have it. Ordinance 25-09 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Parks and Recreation up next. Resolution number 25-104. Request of council to authorize the submission of a grant application in the amount of $40,000 from the National Fitness Campaign to install a fitness court in Elmwood Park.
Good evening, council. I'd like to first say thank you to council, Madam Smith and Greg Scott for the generosity of this. I was shocked by it, taking me aback. But in the honor of good news, we are trying to receive or apply for a grant for $40,000 for the National Fitness Campaign, so we can continue to enhance Elmwood Park. It would just be free for everybody to participate if they want to do extracurricular activities as far as fitness goes. So it would be like pull-ups, and it'll be easily accessible to whomever, if you're in a wheelchair, disabilities, things like that. So as we try to continue to enhance Elmwood Park, this is something that we're trying to shoot for.
Council, any questions?
When I was out there, actually, when Mr. Bates was at the National League of Cities, we ran into that company, had a various array. I got a couple booklets. I'm pretty sure you have booklets, but this thing was amazing. It had canopies, different machines. It's like a plethora of different things you can use. But Mr. Bates was attracted to the splash park, but I told him to come focus on the other stuff. So I'll definitely drop those books off to you.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
Council, any other questions? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve resolution number 25-104?
So moved. Second.
Madam Secretary, could I have a roll call, please?
Dustin Queenan.
Aye.
Madeira Robinson. Aye. Natalie Coulson. Rashad Bates.
Aye.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution 25-104 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Planning and Municipal Development. Ordinance 25-10, the request authorization to advertise ordinance 25-10 for the fiscal year 2026 Community Development Block Grant proposed budget.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Good evening, Council. Good evening. We have a few items here, so I'll try to keep it brief. As you recall, at the October 7th council meeting, we presented the proposed budget and projects for the fiscal year 2026. At that time, we asked council if we could advertise those proposed budgets and projects in which you gave us permission to do so. In that time, we've advertised those projects, and tonight we are bringing forth an ordinance that essentially combines those projects into three main categories. An ordinance so that we can advertise it to meet the local ordinance requirement in preparation for our submission to HUD. Tonight we have the ordinance 25-10, which sets forth the housing projects in which $110,978 is allocated. The projects under this category include our owner-occupied housing rehabilitation project, the Housing Rehab Technical Support, and the Fair Housing Council. The second category is municipal projects, which we have set aside $478,340. For these municipal projects, it would include the Small Business Assistance Center, as well as the Section 108 loan. Lastly is the administrative with $147,000. This totals up for $736,318. Tonight, I'm asking for council to allow this ordinance to be advertised in preparation for the upcoming council meeting in January. That concludes this report.
Council, any questions? Seeing none, is there a motion to advertise ordinance 25-10 for the fiscal year 2026 Community Development Block Grant proposed budget?
So moved. Second.
Could I have a roll call, please?
Justin Queenan.
Aye.
Vera Robinson. Aye. Natalie Coulson. Rashad Bates.
Aye.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye, the ayes have it.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the vote on the conditional use master plan for the preserve at Stony Creek, 1001 Sturger Street.
Just so council understood, you heard a presentation about this about 40 days ago. I know council sat as a quasi-judicial body, and I believe there would be a potentiality for a motion to approve the master plan. I believe that was your intent. I'm just going to read the conditions that will be in the decision in order. The applicant shall comply with all permitting requirements and review letters to the satisfaction of municipal staff and consultants. 2, the applicant shall comply with all requirements included in the testimony provided in the November 18th hearing. And 3, the subject property may not be used for a data center unless the data center is an ancillary use rather than a primary use. So if council was okay with that, I would suggest a motion to approve, subject to those conditions.
Council, any questions? Is there a motion to approve the conditional use master plan for the preserve at Stony Creek, subject to the conditions mentioned?
So moved. Second.
Could I have a roll call, please?
Justin Queenan.
Aye.
Vera Robinson. Aye. Natalie Coulson. Aye. Rashad Bates.
Aye.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye, the ayes have it. Conditional use is approved. The proposed easement approval request for Haws Avenue and Change Street trailheads.
Thank you, President Smith. Before I give some history on this project, I'd like to note an amendment that what is being requested this evening is an agreement with the county rather than a permanent or temporary easement. And I'll let the county explain that further in their presentation. This project, which was recommended in the 2020 Montgomery County Trail Access Diversity and Awareness Plan, aims to revitalize the trail connections between the Schuylkill River Trail to the Haws Avenue and Change Street trailheads. The county has hired NV5 and Aclama as their consultant teams to work on the community engagement and designs. The county has also held numerous community events to gain feedback for the trailhead's design and function. This project was last before council in January 2024, and I'll hand it off to Ellen Miramontes, who is the principal trails and open space planner for Montgomery County, to present where they are with the project now.
Good evening. I'm not Ellen, but Ellen is right behind me.
I was getting up confused.
Thanks, Vince, for the introduction. And my name is Bill Hartman, and I'm the Trails and Open Space Planning Manager with the Montgomery County Planning Commission, and thanks to President Smith and members of council for having us back this evening. I am joined by Ellen Miramontes, and she is a principal planner with the Planning Commission. We work closely together on a number of projects, and we are here tonight to provide an update on the county's planned trailhead improvements at Haws Avenue and Chain Streets along the Schuylkill River Trail, and specifically the coordination and agreements that are going to be needed with Norristown to secure site control for both of these projects. Can I have the next slide, please? Sure, if you don't mind. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to provide a brief high-level overview of the project, which Vince partially did already, and then Ellen is going to get into more of the details about the current designs, the site control needs, and the next steps. We did receive a $90,000 grant from the William Penn Foundation to assist us with the cost of the design services with NV5, the engineering and design firm, and we engaged them in late 2023, and we've been working with them since then, and their goal and purpose is to provide the construction documents so that these two projects can ultimately be constructed, and we hope that we'll move into that phase in the first quarter of next year. So just a quick slide to show you the location of where we're talking about. These two trailheads are located right along the Schuylkill River Trail, one on the left-hand side at the base of where Haws Street hits the trail, and the other one to the east is the Chain Street Trailhead, which is at the base of Chain Street as it hits the Schuylkill River Trail. These are both in the proximity of Riverfront Park and the Schuylkill River, obviously, but they're both places where you can access the Schuylkill River Trail. In terms of the existing conditions, I don't know if you're familiar with what Haws Street looks like when you get down to the end of it before you get to the main Schuylkill River Trail, but going in a clockwise direction here, that's West Washington Street where that photograph was taken, and it's looking down the existing asphalt trail that you see in the upper right-hand photograph. That trail is about 200 feet long before it reaches the Schuylkill River Trail. It's probably about 8 feet wide right now, as you can see in that photograph. There's no wayfinding signage, no landscaping, no improvements that would make people aware that there's even a trail that they can access from this asphalt path. And so part of the purpose is to improve this existing area so that people are aware that there's a regional trail at the end of it, as well as to draw people off of the Schuylkill River Trail so that they can come into Norristown and visit Norristown as well. So we look at it as a two-way street here, so to speak. The bottom two slides are where that asphalt path ultimately reaches the Schuylkill River Trail. There's a kiosk there right now, but you can see we're going to do some enhancements, and Ellen will talk about this, where those two paths come together to sort of highlight that junction where they meet. And then jumping over to Chain Street, again, if you're familiar with this, this is a pretty rough area. It's primarily used as a parking area for a lot of the residents who live there. It's actually owned by PECO, but PECO doesn't really do anything with it right now. So it's relatively abandoned, but like I said, people who live in the area do park there, so it does provide that amenity for them. There is an emergency gate there, which you can see in the upper right-hand photograph, right in front of that silver car. That's meant to provide emergency access onto the Schuylkill River Trail, which is what's sitting in the foreground of that photograph. But the area that we're looking at to improve in this area is about 150 linear feet along the trail. So in 2020, the county did adopt the Trail Access Diversity and Awareness Study, which focused on three general goals. One, to increase the diversity of the people who use our trails. Two, to increase awareness, visibility, and ease of access to the overall county trail system. And number three, to modernize trail designs to take into account the changing diverse needs of our communities that our trails pass through. And as Vince said, the plan specifically recommended improvements to the Haws Avenue and Chain Street trailheads. And specific to this project, there are really three goals that fit within that framework of the broader goals that were in that study. One, we want to create a place with community amenities that will safely link the neighborhoods around these areas to the Schuylkill River Trail, as well as the broader regional trail network. It'll provide connections over to Riverfront Park, and it can provide access to other amenities in the area. We want to create an inviting, welcoming, and barrier-free access to the Schuylkill River Trail for users of all abilities, all ages. We want this to be a place where all people feel comfortable accessing the Schuylkill River Trail, and we want to make sure that trail users are able to see it and use it to, again, move into Norristown and explore it, which gets to the third goal, which is to invite trail users to explore and patronize Norristown and its businesses. So we want to provide that as a potential economic benefit as well. So with that, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to turn it over to Ellen. She's going to get into a little bit more of the detail, including the easement issues. Thanks.
Good evening, council members, staff, and members of the public here today. I'm Ellen Miramontes, and I'll run through the next slides for you. So let's see. There we go. So first off, I'm just going to go through what we've done for community and stakeholder engagement. So it was actually 2 years ago, December 2023, when we kicked things off with some focused interviews and meetings together with Norristown staff, with other county departments, for example, our Parks Department, getting their input, as well as PICO staff. Following that, we did come to council, although I know members have changed, some of the members have changed in that January 2024 period. Meanwhile, our consultants were working on topographic and boundary surveys. We were making site visits with your staff, with PICO staff. And then February 2024, CLAMO began survey outreach, bilingual, going door to door, as well as online surveys. We also, during that time period, held 2 focus group meetings. Those were online with representatives from different educational, community services, religious, arts-focused business entities, got input that way. CLAMO also did a pop-up at Marshall and Haws, getting passersby for input, letting people know about the project, that kind of thing. And then the last bullet point, we held 2 community design events just at the Haws Street trailhead itself in early June and then late July. Inviting feedback, getting art ideas, feedback to designs that were developed at the July one. Here's a few photos from those events. It was really wonderful engagement, lots of great thoughts and ideas. Here's just a few highlights. There's much more than what I'll show you, but just on the left, you'll see when we ask people about current challenges, the orange represents safety as the most important thing people were focused on, and then the blue, cleanliness. And then again, when we asked people, you can see on the right, what would they like to see in these spaces? Again, safety first and cleanliness second. Then when we asked people, what sorts of things would you like to see here? Quite exactly, almost evenly split between the list of items you see there: children's activities, lighting, green areas, shade, bilingual signage, seating, and public art. And in terms of that art, we asked, would you like to see a local professional artist do something, or something that's more historically focused, or community-generated art? The majority wanted community-generated art. And then I'll walk through the 2 conceptual plans here, but I want to explain that these were preceded by schematic designs that took all of that input from the interviews, the focus groups, the surveys, and then we did bring those schematic designs to the July event, and then they were further refined into these conceptual plans. And besides what you see here, I want to explain too that our consultants were looking at grading, looking at vehicular turning radii, preliminary cost estimates, just to make sure that everything would even be doable. So I'll just walk you through each of these pretty quickly here. I don't know if there's a pointer or not. Let's see. Perhaps that. Oh, yeah, there. Okay. Oh, it's not showing on there. Well, I don't. Okay, I'll just talk through it. So at the top area, you can see. So on this top right photo, you'll see that it's not very defined at all, the entry. So we'd like to define that, install a curb, have ramps, crosswalks across all 4 streets there at the intersection, and formalize a curb ramp there at the southeast corner as well. In talking with your safety, police, fire, emergency, vehicular access is very important to your staff. So having a mountable curb, but something that could be driven over and still provide for that access. Shades, oh, I didn't mean to do that. So shade trees you can see along the side, pavement art here, down at the Schuylkill River Trail, both to beautify the area and in response to people's desire for community-generated art, as well as a way to slow bicycle traffic down. If you've ever walked in this area, sometimes the bicycle traffic is very, very fast. And we want to slow that traffic down and give people clues that people are coming on and off the trail at this location. And then also, really importantly, along Haws Avenue, there's a very tall, there's a wall and a big, huge drop-off. So we plan to put a protective fence along the top of that wall. And with benches, you'll see a smattering of them, but in speaking with your staff, there was concern about putting too many benches out. So what we agreed upon is just starting with 1 bench in a very visible location down along the trail, see how that goes, and perhaps add more over time. And here's at Chain Street. I'll just walk through the changes here as well. So one of the really important things is to provide a sidewalk extension along the western side. Right now, there's no way for a pedestrian to actually get down to the trail. The sidewalks don't extend. So providing a crossing, that sidewalk extension, we'd have to do a low wall in order to meet the appropriate grades. And then to define the area with some bollards, again, that would be collapsible. Emergency vehicular maintenance access would be possible there, and some fencing to define the area along the side of the trail. Again, pavement art. You can see, let's see how to describe it. On the eastern side of the street, right south of the residences there, we'd like to beautify that area with a small retaining wall and some trees along the hillside. And again, starting with 1 bench. So that's just an overview. And as Vince explained, we had submitted this presentation before understanding that it would not need to be easements, but rather an agreement. So since submitting this presentation, we have met with Cal Hassan, your engineer, as well as received word through staff from your solicitor's office that it would not, in fact, be an easement as these diagrams show. And instead, the orange area at the top would be a temporary closure in order to make those improvements, the crosswalks and ramps. And then the red area, rather than an easement, would be an agreement. So that sits within the Haws Avenue right-of-way. And we, through our staff and your staff, we tried to find an existing agreement, because this, of course, was put in a long time ago. and we could find no such agreement in place. So we're looking to formalize that. It perhaps was just a handshake at some point in time. We don't know. And so the green is our existing easement with PICO, a 15-foot wide easement for the Schuylkill River Trail. And then the yellow area there, we're working with PICO to amend that easement to encompass all of the area where we'd like to put in the improvements. So that's for Haws. And here at Chain Street, the red area would be temporary road closures in order to put in that sidewalk and the improvements within the right-of-way. And then again, the green, the existing PICO easement, and the yellow, the expansion of that easement. So next steps are really to finalize the PICO easement amendment to the easement we have with them, and then to establish an agreement with Norristown. And then, as Bill mentioned, develop construction documents, secure construction funding, and then move ahead with construction. So we're happy to answer any questions, but essentially the reason we're here is to seek your authorization to make these improvements in Norristown's right-of-ways. So we're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Council, any questions? Vice President Bates.
Thank you for your presentation. As an avid trail user, I'm excited about this a lot because I go through the Halls Avenue entrance all the time. So having the extra trees and shrubs, making it actually look like you can go down there is a great idea. You answered most of my questions, but I do have a question about PICO because you said PICO owns that parking lot. So do you anticipate that PICO will remove the residents that park there, or maybe make it an actual parking lot for people to park in?
We don't know what will happen with that, but they have indicated to us that they will be contacting, I believe, your administrator at some point soon, it sounds like, and they are pursuing that in a separate avenue. So amending our easement, but essentially this project has brought to light that, no one was really paying attention that was PICO property and was essentially being used as a public parking area. So they will be in touch with your staff and deciding, what happens with that area together with you.
Councilwoman Robinson.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for your presentations. I thought that was very thorough information and very helpful. As you've made the transition now from it being no longer a request for an easement, but now a temporary easement of sorts, and then an agreement, could you help me understand a little bit more about maybe the term differences between the two, and then the...
From what I understand in a nutshell, but your solicitor and engineer can answer more if I don't, is that because it is a public right-of-way, there would not be a desire to have an easement on it. So instead, it would be in the form of an agreement. I think it's more of a legal matter. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I was just hoping for more clarity on the terms of the agreement then.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Sorry. Good evening, Council. That's a great question. The difference is the agreement is going to memorialize all the improvements that are taking place in both locations. What happens is, as we move forward and the improvements are completed, somebody's going to be responsible to upkeep and maintain. We want to make sure we memorialize everything that is anticipated of the municipality to maintain as we move forward, and anything else that is going to be maintained by the county. So anything within the intersection itself, you see one area was highlighted as red. This is the intersection of Washington. So this intersection right here, the intersection of Washington, the one on top, you don't want any easement to be granted by anybody outside the municipality. This is our right-of-way, this is our cartway. We should be the only entity to maintain and upkeep and do anything in it. Anybody who comes in to do work, it will be by way of an agreement. We say, fine, go ahead and do what you have to do, and then we will decide who's gonna maintain it as we move forward. This is really the only separation between them. I think agreements, I will coordinate with the solicitor's office, and we will work on the language between the county, the municipality, and the solicitor. We clearly define what exactly is gonna be maintained by the municipality, what's by the county. But the main point here is, no part of the project is gonna be covered financially by the municipality. This is all under your grant or capital budget. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, you started to go further into my next question, so thank you for that. My only other question then was about the timeline of all of this, and I think that might play some into the agreement overall. When do we expect that this is kind of moving in process?
So I will say that the project's been in a little bit of stasis over the last several months because we were having trouble coordinating with PICO. Over the last 2 months, that's changed pretty dramatically. We're in a good working mode with PICO, and we're working actively with them to amend the easement that we have for the trail. I would say that we'll move into producing the construction documents in the first quarter of next year, and that will probably go into the second quarter as well. It's our hope that while we're doing that work, we'll be working through putting these agreements together and coordinating with the municipality to make sure that that's all tied up neatly, as well as working with PICO to make sure that's all being tied up neatly. Our hope would be that we could tile that up by June, July, and then bid it in the summer sometime, and then construct it ideally in the fall. I tend to be overly optimistic about when things are going to happen. I just find that they go slower than I hope they will, but that's what we're anticipating right now, barring anything that comes up that we're not thinking of at the moment.
Thank you.
Sure.
And then my last question is just, I guess, for Sean administration. So there is not a request for us, there's not a vote or anything that we're taking on this. Is this just us hearing this opportunity?
Are you requesting any kind of vote?
Well, I think we're.
They want us to move forward with the
requesting
agreement.
Authorization
Yeah.
to make these improvements and to move forward with an agreement.
Are you voting
It would,
on?
that we can draft an agreement?
To direct staff to
Move
develop.
forward. To move forward.
If you're okay with what they want to, what they're proposing, you want to vote to go ahead and move forward with what they're proposing to do. And then that way we can move forward with all the other work that needs to be done.
Would that finalize, would the agreement come back before council?
Yes, that has to come back. Can you go back to the pictures showing what they're proposing? So based on what you're seeing there, what they're proposing, that's what you're saying, are you okay with what they're proposing? So if you are, then we can move forward with getting all the documentation together, the agreements together.
Council, are there any other questions? Seeing none, is there a motion to direct staff to develop an agreement with Montgomery County for the temporary closure and use of municipal public right, Norristown's public right-of-way for the trailhead entrances at Halls Avenue and Chain Street?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it.
Great. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it.
And resolution number 25-105, the request for preliminary final land development approval for the Poley Park Skatepark.
All right, last but not least, we have the Poley Park Skatepark project. This is a municipal project located near the intersection of Marshall and Markley. This project has been in development for some time, and in 2023, the municipality awarded Spawn Ranch Parks as the contract to design and construct this skate park. In October 2025, an application for preliminary and final development approval was submitted and reviewed by both the municipal engineers as well as the county. And the project was then presented to the Planning Commission on December 9th, where it was received and recommended for approval. At this time, we have representatives from Cornerstone Engineering who is the engineer for this project. And if council has any questions or like a walkthrough of the plans, they are here and ready to present. Thank you.
Council, any questions? Is there a motion to approve Resolution 25-105 for preliminary final land development approval for the Poley Park Skatepark?
So moved. Second.
Madam Secretary, could I have a roll call?
Justin Queenan. Aye. Vera Robinson. Aye. Natalie Colson. Aye. Rashad Bates.
Aye.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution 25-105 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public Works, Resolution number 25-106. The request of Municipal Council to authorize the award of a 3-year janitorial cleaning services contract with DSC Solutions LLC in the amount of $95,868.
All right. Hello, Council. For this process, we actually went out to bid. We actually had a lot of attention on this. We had 137 unique vendors pull documents for this particular RFP. We had 12 complete submissions that were submitted, as well including our current vendor. We had a selection committee that was made up of different departments within the municipality who went through and scored, and then ultimately interviewed the top 3 vendors. It was a strong pool, and we ultimately came out with DSC Solutions, and with the amount that they have, along with the services, we think they'll be a great fit for a municipality. All right.
Council, any questions?
Any questions?
I do.
Yes.
What were so was this the lowest bid or no?
This was one of the lowest bids, but it also, one of the things to mention is that the amount wasn't the biggest factor. It was the different services that they provided. So along with this vendor, most of their staff is CETA certified. They have about 100 employees within a 15-mile radius of this building, so we should never receive any shortages, and they'll be able to cover our area.
Just curious, why a 3-year contract? Only reason I asked that, most contracts go from year to year to year because you lock in for 3 years. If you don't like the services, it's kind of like you're stuck with it. So I usually don't see 3-year contracts with janitorial services.
Right.
I mean, there could be different ones. I'm just.
So we usually look for a 3-year contract, one to, because initially when they start, there's going to be some bumps, I guess, until they get used to it. But we use a 3-year contract so they can get used to our services, what we need to get done. And additionally, that was to help drive down the cost by guaranteeing it was a longer stretch of time. But we do have protection in our contracts. For example, if we are not satisfied with the services, typically with our contracts, we have a 30-day written notice we can terminate and move forward. So we wouldn't be locked in if they're not delivering.
And just cover, where are they actually cleaning? What building?
This is going to cover the Municipal Hall as well as the Park and Rec, so the rec center.
Oh, okay, so this is replacing who we have now?
Correct.
Okay. And their contract, was their contract that we currently have now for 3 years?
I don't know what the term of their contract was, but it's been a renewing from what my understanding. But their contract was up essentially, so we had to put it out for bid to review.
Now, would they do a 1-year contract, or was it have to be 3 years?
3 years was part of the term, so we can try to reduce the cost essentially.
Is that what we put the bid out for a 3-year contract?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So everyone bid on it, including our current contractor.
And is there anything in the stipulation that if we cancel them, like after a year, is there any penalties or anything of that nature?
No, there isn't.
Okay. Any local people apply for this?
Excuse me?
Any local people from like Norristown?
We had a lot of, I'm not sure of the actual areas, but we had a lot of local vendors, and that was one of the things that we requested essentially.
And I'm not saying necessarily, but what I would love for us to do is basically start teaching, because I know we got thousands of janitorial companies in Norristown here. I would love for us to develop something where we could reach out, educate people how to bid for these. Because literally, I know like 6 people, not saying I'll pick them, but that are in Norristown. I would love to see this be Norristown-based, if possible, especially if this is not the lowest bid.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like if this is that, it could have came in under 28, but I'd rather, somebody as local as a business, give them a fair shot, educate them. So I definitely want to see us educating the businesses here so they could definitely bid on it. So
And I would say today, I agree. The feeling is mutual. We do have some efforts with that. So I know recently we had a partnership with the Norristown Chamber of Commerce where we gave feedback on specifically RFPs on how to bid. But that's one of the things that we want to communicate as well. And
Yeah, because I know so many janitorial companies in Norristown, born and raised here. So that's why I was looking at the 3 years of like, keep bidding out every year,
Right.
you never know, so.
And I would point out too that we, based on the offer that we have, it's a significant savings compared to what we're paying today.
Right.
So it was a pretty good turnout, especially with the services.
And the only reason I look at that, this company's gonna hire people.
Right.
I mean, they're just, and if we have a company here, that is good and qualifies and things like that nature. And if they bid is around below or, I would just love to see it. Can't pick favorites, I understand
Right,
that.
yeah.
But I would just love to see, because we have businesses here. I just want to make sure we give our businesses opportunity to even
agree with
apply.
Yes.
Yeah, I just had a question. Also, I just want to name, I really like the other cleaners a lot. And so just in understanding what it means to make a transition like this, just so you can help me understand the frequency. When the contract expires, is it just nature then that we put it out to bid, or has there been typically just like a renewing process?
For procurement processes, yes, we should put it out, especially if it's over a certain amount of threshold that we're paying towards them. Even if it's upfront or cumulative, we have to put out for procurement, state law.
So in that process, when this went out to bid, you said that there was a high turnout. Could you tell me a little bit about the committee that comprised it? I think that's an interesting concept and sounds like a really good tool.
Yeah, so it consisted of our Public Works Department, Administration, HR, our Fire Department, as well as Park and Rec. They all participated in the scoring process, as we're all going to be impacted based on the actual cleaning services.
And what were some of the metrics that you guys looked at in scoring a bid like this?
Some of the ones is, one, their staffing, how can we report issues, what their current pool of clientele is. For example, we looked at for entities that had municipal clients. For example, this one has 90% of their base is municipalities. And then also looking for pricing and so forth.
And have we ever done any work with this group before, or would they be a new contractor to us?
This will be a new contract with us.
Okay.
Yes.
I see the amount, I'm sorry. See the amount. So they bill us monthly, right? When it says 3 years, we're not just saying, hey, here's the contract.
Correct.
Okay, bill them monthly, okay.
Right, so it'll be a monthly billing, and essentially, like I said, if we're not satisfied, we do have the opportunity.
Just out of curiosity, the current company had, were they higher or lower than this contract?
This contract is less than a third of what we're paying today.
Okay, because I thought
So
we
it's a
were
significant
paying
savings.
a lot more over, now, okay, because I thought this, to be honest with you, when I saw this amount, kind of thought it was for one building.
Right.
So, because most people charge by square footage, and I'm looking at this amount. Do we have people on that committee that knows janitorial, how they price out? Because I'm like, are we going to get the services? Like you said, it's 1/3. Are we really going to get the services that we deserve? Because I'm listening to you now. I thought it was just Public Works.
Right.
But if it's this whole building in rec daily, is it every day?
I can guarantee that the same sentiments you're feeling is the same thing we were asking as well, but there's different parts of it that helps reduce the cost. For example, they do have way bigger clientele. We're looking at maybe like 13,000 square feet. Their clientele base, some of their clients have 1 million square footage.
Yeah.
They're buying their products in bulk. They're not charging the clients. They're not pushing that cost down to us. So that's part of the thing that helped create the cost savings. Additionally, we're part of an existing network. They're not going to have to hire new employees, new supervisors, or so forth. So we're only being charged roughly for the man hours of what they're doing here, which is a little different than a lot of the other vendors. But yes, they're based off of square footage.
Yeah.
So essentially, they have a calculation of 3,500 square feet is a certain price, and that's how they came up with the price that we have today.
Yeah, and I kind of know those prices because my dad's been in the janitorial business for over 30 plus years. That's why when I saw this number, I thought it was for one building. I didn't say here and there. That's what I'm saying. Now I get why, like when you say 1/3, it's starting to make sense.
Right.
That didn't raise any red flags that this price is 1/3 of what we would be.
Oh, it did, and we asked questions to drill in on it as well.
Right.
Yeah, because when we did an interviewing process, and granted, the price was not what made them a factor. The
No,
top percentage
I
is
get that.
services.
I'm just talking about
But
so
we
this is
have-
every day. They're coming
Correct.
here every day
Correct.
with the same amount of staff?
It's, I'm not sure of the exact number of staff, so. I
So did they
hesitate to
tell
say
you guys
something.
how many people they're going to put on site here?
I believe it's at least 2.
So you're going to have 2 people clean this whole
Correct.
building every day and then go over to clean another
And then
building?
Park and Rec, correct.
And
And
what
we
we're
do have
currently-
a bill of bill of quantities essentially, which gives a breakdown and frequency of all of the items, which was part of the RFP. So it's not anything reduced or anyone kind of billed differently. It was all based off of the same bill of queue.
So I got a question for you. This team you
Yes.
put together, are we going to monitor this company for the first couple months? Because like just because I hear that big difference and I'm looking at how much they're charging per square footage, and I think it sounds like we're going to have less people here per day versus the company we have now in cleaning. And like I said, it's 1/3. Like, are you guys going to monitor the first 3 months? And like, who would do that?
So typically, right now, we have about 2 to 3 people with the current company that come in to clean. This one is going to be at least 2 as well. So we're around a similar amount of staff. But they're also going to provide, one of the benefits of it is that they provide QR codes and so forth. So we're going to actually get the supervisory reporting. So for example, if there is an issue,
Right.
we'll see that report prior to it being corrected. So we'll get those live as well. But also, our Public Works Department is going to oversee the, or supervise, essentially. Not even just up, like, at the start, but ongoing.
And who's the point of contact going to be? Is it going to be Public Works?
Correct.
Okay. All right. I'll stay up on, because I'm real interested in how they're going to pull this one off.
Oh, yes, yeah. But we're pretty confident in their ability to deliver based on what we receive from.
I want to see them do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it can save us that, 66%.
Right.
Yeah, so, okay.
I didn't have another question. I just wanted to name that I did get a chance to look at their brochure, and what I do feel like is happening is that in some ways we are trading what feels like small business for big business, and I do think that there's cost savings that goes hand in hand with that. I'm not against the move, but I think it's a recognizable shift that cost saving still has direct impact. So
Right.
I just wanted to bring that awareness forward. But I can imagine what it seems like the scale of this company can do. Not to liken them to anything, but they seem like a Walmart, if you will, a wholesaling of cleaning, that they're able to staff and then price at a different level because of the size of the organization.
Correct.
When I look at the other organization, I definitely thought more like, I don't know their situation, but it seems more like small business or everyday people, which I actually thought added a lot of value and comfort and exchange into the
Right.
work. So I understand you all have to do what you have to do. I don't have any misgivings about it, but I do think that there is a cost to savings.
Right.
Right, on that, like, janitor is a little funny. It's not like you're manufacturing something, because the hours are the hours. That's why they kind of mostly all use a uniform cost, because you got to pay the people a certain amount. So,
Right.
But yeah, like I said, we'll see.
Yeah.
Ain't no harm in trying.
Right. And
Yeah.
yes.
So council, is there a motion to approve resolution number 25-106 to award the 3-year janitorial cleaning services contract with DSC Solutions in the amount of $95,868?
Second.
Could I have a roll call, please?
Justin Queenan? Aye. Madeira Robinson? Aye. Natalie Colson? Aye. Rashad Bates?
Aye.
Rebecca Smith?
Aye. The ayes have it. Resolution 25-106 is approved. Thank you. And for my last time, is there a motion to adjourn?
Be a second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody.